Thinking. What's up, everyone? Joe Gray here today with another GGC live stream. We had some technical difficulties. It kept telling me error, and so
it was probably my fault.
Yeah, it was all Chris's fault. So he had to leave and then come back in, and now we're rolling. So day 4 for week 1. We're going to walk through some lifts, give some feedback, all that good stuff. First, I'm going to let my man Christian here give his intro. Let me pull up your stuff because we lost it since it freaked out on us. There we go. So this is Chris's list from last GGC, and he's going to tell you why you should pay attention to his feedback today.
My name is Christian, a.k.a. Mr. Adorable on Instagram. You might have seen Milk Barn Athletics as well. So I've been doing fitness stuff for over 20 years. I've had a home gym since I was 14. I still have my original. I'm 39 now, too. So if you want to math, I've done it for over 26 years. I still have the same plates. I still have the same barbell. Best investment I've ever made. And yeah, I mean, I'm a certified personal trainer. I've done everything from group fitness classes. I trained for a marathon. I've done collegiate track and field, collegiate rugby. I did CrossFit. I've trained people on all different levels. I've trained with world-class athletes. And the whole time I've been trying to learn how to get better and how to help other people get better, because my goal has always been to help people find a part of fitness that is fun for them and help them get better. So whether that's running, which I don't really like, but if that's your jam, awesome. But for me, it's powerlifting. I love clanging and banging some weights. So I've picked up a lot of stuff on the way, and hopefully can help some people out.
Cool. I like it, man. I think that's one of the reasons why we've connected over the years, and the GGC has been a good fit for you, is that idea of hopefully helping people get into something that jives with them. So
yeah, absolutely.
Cool. All right. So we are going to hop in. Let's go here. We're going to add one in a second. If you are in the chat, go ahead and let me know you are there. Chip, what's up, dude? Already in.
Yeah.
What's up, man? Mr. Fig Jam himself. If you guys didn't see his most recent creation, Chip's the master of DIY hacking, etc. in the home gym, and he just put together something pretty cool for his surplus strength UPS. So, yeah, it's pretty snazzy. So, all right, let's add fellow rugger too. All right, so our first one today is going to be my man Matt. So actually, let's change to this view. So Matt is and hey, what's up, HR? I don't know if you got a full name there or not. That's just what it tells us is HR. I spent over a decade in corporate HR, so I don't know if that's the kind of HR you're talking about, or we're gonna get in trouble for some stuff or what. But
probably
Matt, yeah. So Matt goes by Tattooed Scion. I think I pronounced that right. He is, I think, competed in every single GGC to date. One of like 5 or 6 people that still have that title. Including myself. The cool thing with him over the years, so when he first started lifting out of his garage gym, him and a buddy of his, they were using the 1-inch like standard bar and plates, and then they got so strong that they actually bent it and broke it, and they had to upgrade, which is a really cool story.
Yeah.
Matt's a badass. He competes in strongman primarily, and so when we look at his lifts, you're probably going to see some influences in the way he deadlifts and stuff like that. Yeah. So his form will be a little different than your typical powerlifting form, but we're going to give him feedback as if he's a competitive powerlifter. So we're going to tear him apart a little bit. So
all right.
The other thing that I'll note as we go, I asked people in the submission forum this year, if we had 100 clones of you versus a silverback gorilla, who would win in a fight? I don't know if you've seen that floating around on the internet, Chris, or not, but yeah. So that's a fun one. So I'll toss that in. Matt's answer is, who wants some gorilla steak? So he's ready for all the smoke, apparently. So,
awesome.
All right, let's take a look at his squat. He's also a top on. Looks like he got some new plates recently, or he painted them.
Yeah.
Good fight. Okay. All right. You want to go first? You got anything for him?
I'm going to watch it again. I mean, so all the feedback always, whenever I'm doing the coaching and the feedback giving, I always let people know, like, hey, I understand this is a max lift.
Yeah.
So forms, I've done some atrocious PRs, just dog doo-doo TTM. And so I understand that that's happening. And so things that I give feedback for, don't think I'm just being an ass of like, oh, you suck. It's like, I understand what's happening. I just want to help you along the way. So
yeah, what I've told some of the other audiences as well was that everyone who we're reviewing has given us the thumbs up to do so. So they are aware that they entered their competition. They are aware that we were going to pick their lifts apart. And they are aware that the feedback is possibly subjective in some stances. We had one yesterday who, I mean, she's a regular competitor in the GGC, and we were like, okay, we're going to get real picky, so then that way we can give you anything, because these lifts were real good. So yeah, we might have a few of those. We might have some where we go, I got a few things for you. So we'll see
let's
go.
Let's see what it looks like again.
So I would say out the gate, he's got a lot of kind of shimmying back and forth. Sometimes that's necessary. It's hard to see because we can't see his feet, if he's taking extra steps or readjusting or whatever, or if he's just kind of going back and forth. Ideally, you walk out and it's 1-2 and you're done and you're ready, but that wasn't bad by any means. Looks like he's getting some back tightness there, extra air.
He got good brace. Oh, he kind of lost it at the end.
Yeah, you can see that neck kind of rolls forward, the elbows come back, that upper back. So, Matt, you're losing a little bit of that upper back tightness.
Yeah, because he got super nice and tight, and then he took another breath and kind of lost it again.
Yeah, so he was there, and then one more, and
yeah, he did the little gook.
Yeah,
which he didn't like get set and then get that back tightness. Take that breath, but make sure you keep everything tight, because if you do extra, you're just getting it offset. So
so a little upper back tightness, which is probably why he gets pinned forward a bit here, and then has to end up finishing that lift in a less than ideal manner. But he got there. Matt's a good grinder, so good lift, dude.
What was it on the bar?
So he's metric. He had 210, so that's 450-ish, 425-ish.
Yeah.
So, and by the way, like I should try and find a picture of Matt from the beginning. Dude is looking yoked compared to what he looked like when I first started talking to him. So
nice.
He was gonna go wide, and then he went pretty close on that grip there.
Yeah. We'll see how it plays out.
Good fight. Okay.
Yeah.
So a couple of things I noticed. So we can watch his right leg here. We can tell, like, pretty much right out the gate, when he lifts that bar, that foot isn't actually set because it moves.
Yeah.
There it goes, right?
Yeah.
Ideally, we are braced from kind of the foot up into the shoulder before that bar comes out of the rack, because trying to stabilize when the bar is in your hand is a little difficult.
Yeah.
And my guess is that's also the reason why his hips come up as he's lifting, because he has no stability. Like, basically he's doing everything's just with his arms. Nothing is actually braced. So
Yep. Yeah, hips come up.
Yep.
Fight on that right side.
Yep. You got anything else for him?
I think something that could be beneficial is really working on a pause.
Yeah.
Bench is not my strong suit. I have really long arms. I'm 6'3" and I have like a 6'5" arm length. And so any pressing overhead or bench has never been a strong suit, but I have been working on getting my back more locked in and secure.
Yep.
And I've started doing more pauses, so I'm more comfortable.
Yep.
Instead of bouncing it, because that bounce, if you hit it just a little bit off, it's going forward, it's going above you, and it just becomes sort of a safety thing as opposed to that strength of just being able to tap, press up, rack.
Yep.
Other than that, he grinded it out. Would it count in a meet? Probably not.
Yeah.
Just because that right side dipped down, I'm pretty sure it has to be a constant motion.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Constant motion up. And then also his hips came off the bench, probably guaranteed on that one. So, but yeah, we talked. So good point on the pause. We talked about that in one of the previous ones this week, saying that, you have this thing in your head of like, this is heavy. I got to go as fast as I possibly can. Right.
Yeah.
But when you go that fast, a lot of times, unless if you are just killer with your technique, more than likely you're going to get out of position. You have a higher chance of getting out of position. And I actually find on bench specifically that pause on the chest, just for, a quick second, actually helps me be stronger. So,
well,
and
when you watch people who are incredibly strong in bench too, like Travis.
Yeah.
When he's off granted he's suited up but he's benching a bunch, but he is slowly controlling that. He gets it, hears a command, and he then explodes out.
Yeah.
So
I think the fast and quick tends to only work for the super heavies because they got that big belly. They drop that bar on the belly and it just slingshots it back up kind of thing. So all right, let's take a look at his deadlift. So this is where I know we'll see his strong man come out. He has a very high pull.
Yeah.
All right, so you go for it.
Let's see one more time. So I would really like to see on something he works on. That's how much weight is that?
He's got 282, so 450-ish.
Jeez. Yeah. So Grant, that's a lot of weight. I'd love to see him kind of tuck those shoulder blades down and get that back a little more tight.
Yep.
Because as soon as he starts driving, he turtle shells.
Yep.
Which, granted, when you have some weight, you're going to have that bend, but I want to prevent him from getting injured.
Yep.
If he practices more of keeping that sturdy back, and again, doing a pause, doing a deficit, doing something where you can pause at the knee and hold that in a really nice flat back position can help grind it back up and also keep your core stability safe. Adding stuff like, it sounds terrible and no one likes to do it, but planks, marches with a kettlebell with one arm on one side and one on the other, all those are stuff that can really help that core engagement and then keeping that back flat and safe.
Yep. So the other one I got is, so it's probably two pieces. So one is, watch him right here. So that kind of almost like he's going to try and row it up, right? Typically what we want is we want those arms to be kind of fully locked out and not really pulling on the bar that way. Because right now he has no lat tightness. He has no upper back tightness, nothing. And the reason is because it's not possible, right? There's nothing to pull against, right? So his arm really needs to be down, gripping that bar and locked in tight. So then he can transfer all that tension from his hand up into the upper back and back down into the legs as he pushes. So keep those arms locked. I know it's like a psych up thing, but we got to ideally get rid of that. The other one is it's hard to tell from this angle. I'm pretty sure over the years I've seen Matt before. I mean, I think he's like basically doing a stiff-legged deadlift at this point, as opposed to having his hips be a little lower. Obviously, everybody's a little bit different. Some people will be a little lower, a little higher, whatever. But I would wager that if he could get his hips a little lower and keep them there a bit longer by probably sitting back a bit more, he'd get a little bit more recruitment in the glutes and the hamstrings. You get some of the tightness in the upper back, and then paired with the core stability. And now it doesn't look as much like a, deadlift like this kind of thing, right? That it looks like a more conventional deadlift. So,
I mean, it's overall, it's a great grind. You got it up there.
Yeah. And I'll toss in, like I said, he's been lifting like that deadlift style for as long as I've watched him. So there's a good chance he doesn't get hurt because he's kind of greased that groove and built those tendons and the bone and the muscles and everything to support that. Mark Rosenberg's pretty keen on that statement of like technique is kind of overrated in some instances. As long as you can build the capacity in that position, then you should be fine. So, but still, I think he's got a couple of tweaks he could make, and he could eke out some more pounds. So,
I think the only time, like, obviously, if you're like, man, I always hurt my back deadlifting. Obviously, there's some things you should look at. But I think also if he's still putting weight on and he's still gaining, go for it.
Yep.
As soon as you hit that plateau and you go, I don't know why I can't lift more. That's when you to start thinking, let's step back. Let's work on this technique. Here's some feedback. Let's see how it feels. And rebuild. The amount of times I've had to rebuild a lift is too many to count over my years. But I've continued to get better and more healthy. And so, I mean, if it works for him, great. When he starts plateauing, start changing it up a little bit.
Yep. I'm with you. Good lifts, Matt. Hopefully a couple of tips and tricks for you there will set you forward, and look forward to your continued craziness in the GGC. So you can see he's got our first shirt ever up in the top right corner there framed. I think he's got a couple of other ones over on the side, his certificates and stuff like that. So awesome. Good dude. All right, let's do, I think he was also our first athlete spotlight on our website. So number 2 is going to be Mr. Kurt from the Kurt Locker. So hold on a second. Kurt. All right, so Kurt is another strongman. Kurt is a recently retired veteran, and Kurt, I guess that's probably the right term. He would correct me on that one. I don't think you are a retired veteran. If you know what the right term is, please tell me in the chat. I blow that one all the time. Retired military personnel, and now he's a veteran. I think that's the right language. But
you can just say he's recently retired from the military.
There you go. Yeah. So Kurt's a badass. So Kurt has a great YouTube channel, by the way. If you're not following it, I'm gonna drop it in the comments there for you. He actually he put out a review today on the bar he's using right there. That he used in the GGC. So
awesome.
Yep. So let's take a look at Kurt's lifts. Again, strongman. Typically, he told me he's in the middle of a hypertrophy block, so not going to be his maximal best ever, but spot looks good and up, clean.
Yeah.
You got anything for him?
Let me watch it one more time. It's one of those, I see something, and so he kind of shoots his hips back. I mean, if we're being picky, if you see him in that hole and he starts driving, his hips go just a little bit. I mean, I've watched his videos. I've seen him lift.
Right. Yeah.
again, maximum lift, you're going to get some
Yeah.
little things. So I think if you're doing a 5x5 or you're doing something a little more not max one rep, just he videos a bunch. I've seen a lot of his stuff, and so just making sure that wiggle doesn't become a habit.
Yep. Only thing I might have for you, Kurt, is when we get under the bar, we come up, we come out pretty quickly. A lot of times I find personally, and we've told some people to try this, is break it down into a few more pieces. So when you get under that bar, go up, let it settle, then come back, let it settle, then go down and let it settle. That way you're not trying to, when you come up out of those J cups and back, you are kind of doing one of these all at one time kind of deal. And so that's all I got for you. Otherwise, very good lift.
Yeah, it's solid. He's got the depth too.
Yep. Watch is probably bench. Yep. So unrack. Hips came up. So I think I saw right out the gate, same thing as we had with Matt.
Yeah.
His legs are moving. So so his hips came up. Yeah. So 315, solid bench, sir.
Hey.
I would take
3 bills is good.
Yeah, if I could hit 315 and still have a few technique things to grind out, then I'd be very happy.
Yeah.
The leg drive piece. So you can try a couple of things, Kurt. One, you got your legs tucked a bit on the bench. That helps some people. For me, I don't actually tuck them. I keep them out a bit wider. I feel like that helps me get the feet into the ground and pushed back into the bench a bit better. But you just got to find what works for you there, and then just transfer that tension from the feet all the way up into the legs. Have those, quads, glutes, core, everything tight. That way that arch and everything is pushing into the bar correctly. So
yeah, I think the more you focus on making sure that your back is so flat and locked in before you even think about moving.
Yeah, because we can see. Go ahead.
I'll set my hands where I want them to be, and when I'm laying, I'm this far away from the bench. Like this is what my arms are at an angle, and then I start pressing in and get to the where I want to be, because I know I have 2 or 3 inches, and it took me a while to mess with that. But again, when you're locked in and then you take it off and then you pause, make sure you're secure, and then go for it. This was the first GGC where my bench went up, not by much, but it went up and it felt good. Usually it feels super trashy and grind, and it felt like, okay, I'm getting stronger. Okay, this felt secure.
Yeah, this is the right position for me.
My hips came up, but compared to where I've been, it's progress, not perfection.
Yeah, so. I'm with you. Yeah, so we can see right there, right out the gate. So it's a quick transition, but he's already moving in those hips when he's unracking the bar, which is pretty much going to be you're going to move when you lift kind of thing. Yeah. So great strong lift, dude. A little bit in the feet, and that'll be even nastier. A deadlift 545. That's pretty good. So good position to start, it looks like to me.
Yeah. So in comparison, this angle is pretty nice. You can see like he does have a little bit of an arch, which is going to be natural when you're pulling hundreds of pounds. But you can see that lat engagement right there. You can see his arms are nice and locked in and long.
Yep. The big one we talked about, it was a couple of nights ago, was we said it's okay to have rounding in the back as long as it starts that way and it stays that way the whole time, right? The problem we see, and we saw this in a couple of them the other night, was we started like this, and then as soon as we picked up that bar, we did this. And so you throw a few hundred pounds on that bar, and then that's how you walk away and wake up the next day and go, oh, deadlifts hurt my back, right? So Kurt's gonna basically stay. He gets a little bit in his thoracic there, which is again totally okay. But from what we can tell from here, everything coming through that low back is fine. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, great drive from the feet too. Whenever I'm training someone on how to deadlift and they're having issues, I would say, hey, you're not pulling, you are pushing the earth away.
Yep.
And he does a great job. You can just tell by how he's braced and how he's moving it. He is driving that ground away.
Yep. Good lifts, Kurt. So Kurt said, I don't think he had any PRs left. Oh, actually, he said that was a PR for his bench. So nicely done, sir.
Yeah, no wonder he's pumped.
Yeah. So
a PR and you're shifting your legs, like unwrapping.
Savage.
All right.
All right. Let's take a look at our next one. And we got. Okay, so this is Dan, goes by Be Strong Dad on Instagram. Right. Dan says he PR'd all 3 lifts for 1,030 total, which is awesome. He's been lifting for 2.5 years. Not too shabby there, my friend. GDC is what got him into powerlifting. And he says most of us would likely be dead from the gorilla. So I probably agree. Let's take a look. Gets under, nice and calm, big air.
Good brace.
Good up, nice. Okay. You got anything for him?
Man, that's probably one of the most upright squats I have seen in a minute.
So he's got his elbows nice and tucked. So
yeah,
we know he's got some lat tightness and upper back tightness going on. He's got his head up. Everything's looking nice and good. I probably only got one thing for him.
Can you play it back one more time?
Yeah. So real small thing for me is, so he's taking a handful of breaths here, which is maybe not ideal. It looks like he's managing to keep most of that tension, so he's probably fine. The one thing I would say is that last breath he takes and then he goes down pretty quick. So and he's already down. I would probably want and then down, just so that way, because every time you take in that breath, the body moves a little bit and the bar moves a little bit, which any movement in the bar means more you got to control. And so, but we're talking like a half a second difference. So I'm being nitpicky.
The only thing, it might be the angle, and I can't really tell because one of the posts is in the way. It looks like one of his first movements is the knees go forward first.
Okay.
Like his knee, as opposed to putting those hips back. I mean, it's a great lift, but you see how I wish I could.
Yeah, but I'm with you.
Yeah, the knees are here, and I'd rather see this.
Yeah.
Because again, it's a max lift, but the more you do this first, that's a lot of tension on those knees eventually. Push it's a natural thing.
Yep.
The clients I have, I'm teaching how to sit down. Yeah. And so that's the immediate response. Again, we're being nitpicky, but I think trying to push the hips back just a little bit more to keep those shins a little more in line. Depth is amazing.
Yeah. I've seen Amanda talk about that before. So we don't want to go as far as like a geared lifter, right? Who literally sits back, right? Like a box squat type thing. We don't want to go that far necessarily. But we want to break at the hips first and then kind of load the knees kind of deal. So
that way you can load the bigger muscles as opposed to pushing those quads aren't going to be as strong as your knees and glutes.
Yeah.
So, and it's an inch or two. It's not.
Yeah.
It's something just to play around with, and you might be able to squeak out a little bit more. And
overall, really good lift, dude. 390.
Solid.
Yep. Good up. Yep. Nicely
That was
done.
great drive. No caving. Oof,
Yeah.
that's solid.
Well done. So we got a 250 bench here. So all I got is kind of same thing we were talking before. He doesn't get real loose in the legs or hips, but I think that's because he's not tight in the legs or hips yet, right? So
Yeah,
I don't see that same thing that I see when someone gets really locked in. It kind of looks like he's just more or less laying on the bench. Uh,
yeah.
Turns this into a full, upper body exercise as opposed to getting everything locked in. But
So what he does before that lift, like before, he unracks it, he's about to go down, and then he gets braced.
yeah,
If you do all that before you take it off the rack,
yeah,
so see, he'll take it off, and then he kind of shifts.
yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent grind, though. Let's see.
I mean, constant motion.
Yep. I don't see the hips coming up drastically from this angle. The elbows stay mostly where they were before, so it's not like we've got some crazy wide. Like he's not doing a bunch of compensating anywhere or anything like that. He stays.
No, yeah.
He stays locked in with what he went in with, which is a good thing. So
yeah, I think to brace the way you were when you were coming out of that hole.
Yeah.
Before you take it off.
Yeah.
Because if you're braced with that much power and stiffness and tightness and control before that comes off the J cups,
Yep.
you're gonna drastically see that weight go up.
Yep, I agree. All right, let's see, deads. You gotta take the knee sleeves off because they're gonna drag on there. Oh. Wow, I thought he was gonna struggle with it after he didn't get it on that first kind of attempt. So
yeah.
yeah, he did that, and I was like, "Uh-oh." So there's gonna be a grinder, but big breath. You can see he went for back doesn't look too shabby. Locked out.
So on his first attempt, he was a little forward. And then he kind of sits back a little bit more. At least what it looks like.
Yep, his knees are over the bar a bit there.
Shot a little forward, readjusted, drove up through those glutes and hammies.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think so. That was a 390 pull. Only thing I would have on that deadlift is one, like I said, take the knee sleeves off if you can. My guess is he's wearing that so he doesn't scrape up his shins. Any material, anything in the way is going to be one more thing that bar can catch on and slow down and potentially end up making you miss that lift. And then two would be normally if I had a hiccup setting up and going to pull, I would go, okay, let me step back, reset, and then go again instead of just take another air and then rip it. But that was awesome. So Dan, nicely done, sir.
Yeah.
I think you got some more in you for sure because like
Absolutely,
I said, I was expecting that to be a big grind. Yeah, we can see the lats get tight. I think the hips did the hips come up a little fast? Let's see.
No, resets.
Yeah, no, that's fine. No. Yeah, that looks good.
Yeah, hips and shoulders, or the hips and the shoulders come at the same time.
Yeah.
And to reset and just go for it again.
So 390, dude, you got to get 405 next time at least.
Yeah, so, four bills, you can get that.
Yeah. So, all right, let's hop into the next one. In the chat, if you guys have any questions as we go, please let us know. If you've got your own feedback for the lifters, if you know what you're talking about as well, drop it there. We're doing our best, but I always like to see what other people have as well. Sometimes we miss things. You got different ideas, etc. So,
Yeah.
okay, let's take this one for a ride. So we've got Steve, goes by Mr. Olympus. He says that where is it? He wrote in his bio that he has autism, so he doesn't go and do any competitions. So this event, the GGC, has been great for him because he's able to compete without having to go out and compete, which is cool. So he's got metric going. So 675 kilo total. So that's like a 1400 or something like that.
What was it? You said 670?
675, yep.
75 times 2.2.
1250.
1485.
Not too shabby, sir.
No.
He says he PR'd his squat, bench, and deadlift. And he thinks that he could beat the gorilla, but only because he would be able to sacrifice a whole bunch of his 100 people and he'd make it there. The gorilla would eventually get tired and he'd be able to capitalize on it. So,
all right, let's go.
Good thought process.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look at his bench. Might be from this angle, but okay. We got a couple of things. So
heart attack.
Yeah. So it looks like all I got there is his bench. I'll see if I found any of his other ones. But so I would say one, we're going to talk about how quickly he goes from the bar in the rack to the bars on his chest. He unracked that and then it's straight down and then it's all the way up.
Yeah.
So ideally, Steve, we unrack this bar and it sits like right there for a second or something, even maybe a little bit more. Like he didn't even get fully unwrapped. No. He's already going for it. So we got to get locked in, let it sit, own that weight, and then come down with it. And then typically we want a little bit again of a pause. It's hard to tell if his hips come up or not. I can make an argument for yes or no. I'm going with no based off of how when he sat down, I didn't see anything. So I can't tell if he gets. He's got his feet tucked. It looks like he's trying to get tight. He just freaking rocks.
He just goes. He goes, man.
I think he hit the J cup too on the way up.
Oh my god!
Yeah, right there, right. So right here. Yep, you can hear it. So he hits that right J cup. So that is a 245 kilogram bench press. Oh, sorry. This says 170 up there. His submission form says 245. Oh, no, sorry. Oh, that was for squat. Wrong one. 170 kilo bench. So that's 370 or something. Yeah.
Or what is it? 374. Yeah.
So that is a monstrous bench. And he hit the J cup and just ran it. So
didn't set for it. But he is so locked in.
Yeah.
Like I was watching on that second play, and his body does not move.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Below those arms. My only thing is get that there and let it sit.
Yeah. Yep.
Just for 1/1000, so that momentum of you coming from the J cup forward is gone.
Yep. Let me see if
that's wild.
Yeah, that's wild.
That's a great bench too.
All I got is they're on other posts. Okay, let's see. So we're gonna try and see if I can share.
Let's see the GGC wizardry
screen. Go. Screen 2. All right. So here comes his deadlift. Bit of a hitch there, but
that's probably going to
replay for us. Yep. So he gets in. Back doesn't look terrible, but he's also sliding his arms back as he gets to the top. So I'm assuming we've got some lat tightness. Yeah, you can kind of see his upper back dip a little bit in the beginning.
Yeah.
My guess is, like you said, so strongmen typically do that. They roll the bar up to them when they pull. I would assume that he's got a little bit of a loss of tension because that bar is actively moving as opposed to in place and he's kind of bracing against it.
Yeah.
But that is all I see. You got anything else for him?
I mean, I would encourage him to just kind of watch how the video is, because he goes like 3 inches lower than he probably needs to that
Okay. On his
before
hips?
that barbell starts moving. I can't remember. I watched some power lifter talk about deadlift, about these
Yep.
guys who take these huge squats.
Yep.
And when you look, the bar doesn't move until they hit that perfect,
Yep.
position. So if you're going down here, you're just wasting energy.
Yep.
So if you take away 2 or 3 inches, you might
Let's
have a
see if I
better.
can pause it. So he's here.
Yeah.
Right.
And
so that's
yeah,
where his hips are, where he goes down, but then it doesn't until there. Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you're looking at, it's hard to judge, 3 to 4 inches. That's a lot of energy to not
Yeah.
waste, but to use when you can just start there
Yeah.
and pull.
And we're also back to, like with Matt, like we talked about with the arms, if he's moving while actively trying to lift it, he's bouncing off of the muscle and stuff, as opposed to it everything tight and then pushing.
Because then if he's at this position, there's a better chance when he's standing straight up that doesn't roll.
Yep.
He goes straight up.
Yep. Yep. Good lift, monster lift, very
Monster
good lift.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just a little bit there. And then here is his squat. He's got some monos, some straps. Boom.
Oh.
Woof. He is a fast lifter.
Yeah, that is some speed and power.
Up, brace, down. So it's going to look a little different than most of our people because he's squatting out of the mono, so he doesn't have a step back.
Yeah.
I would typically probably say trying to avoid that swing that you kind of do in the beginning, just because you're bringing that bar kind of this way, which is not where we want it. But it also doesn't seem to impact the lift at all, so that's a hard one.
Yeah,
but
he's got a little bit of a tilt forward when he hits that hole. So, and again, it's a max lift. You're gonna have that. So just a little more engagement in the back. I know mine was pretty bad last year, and I think you told me, hey, if you just think about engaging your lats more, that really helped. The only other thing I saw, there's a little knee cave.
Sure.
Again, a natural occurrence. Something I always encourage clients is think about spreading a towel out with your feet. Your feet aren't going to move, but those knees will stay here instead of going whoop.
Yep. Yeah, I mean that's a tiny little bit of knee valgus. So
it's just being nitpicky now. It's not like
nitpicky. Those are some crazy lifts, dude.
Yeah, 245.
Okay.
Wait, that's almost 540. So quick out of that hole. I mean, one more time, just watch it out of the hole.
Yeah, that's nuts. All right, dude. Those are some crazy good lifts. Yeah. I think the bench is the biggest one we had anything on there. Just slow it down, and then you'd be good.
Everything else is just fine-tuned.
Deadlift was pull the hips up just a bit and start from there, and that's it. So
yeah, awesome job.
Our next one is going to be Heidi. We gotta go to our next second. Let's go here. Move Kurt. Heidi. So Heidi says, So she's got a 580-pound total. She PR'd her squat and deadlift.
Awesome.
She's been strength training on and off for most of her adult life. About a year ago, she returned to her favorite gym, and one of the coaches suggested trying powerlifting. One of her goals for 2025 is to perform the big 3 lifts with a respectable weight. I think you're there, my friend.
Yeah.
I've set up her home gym, as we don't do barbell work in the group training classes at her gym. Shortly after getting the rack set up, she injured her hip and low back and irritated her sciatic nerve. That can happen. 1 week ago, I finally healed enough to start lifting heavier, so I didn't have much time to train. Yeah, I mean, that's impressive. So
that's in the chat, HR. Let's go.
Oh, hey Heidi, right on.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna take a look at your lifts. Let's watch the squat. Okay, let's start off with the unrack. Okay. Not too shabby. You want to take a first stab, Chris?
That.
Yeah. So the
set those hands.
Yep.
Try and find a position where you can set those hands. It might be mobility wise for comfort, but do some whatever you need to start working on to either go wider than the J cups, closer. Find so you're not shifting that weight.
Yep. Because we can see when you move your hands, whoop and whoop. Yep. So that's a teeter-totter going on. So
going down, good.
So yeah, so hands set. The next one would be
set.
We want, as much as possible. We want to probably try and limit those steps back. So the goal doesn't always happen. You know, I say this and I still end up shimmying a little bit, but the goal is 1, 2, and then you're in place. So as we watch your feet, we can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then a couple of shimmies. So try and cut that down as much as possible. So really work on that, perfecting that 1, 2 thing. The other one is as soon as you got to slow that down. So that's what Christian was just saying. When you hit right here, we were still setting our foot and we started going down. We want to hold that bar when we're locked and then down kind of thing. So you get your last breath when everything's there. You get that last tiny little bit of tightness and then go down. That way the bar is not moving anywhere other than straight up and down.
Yep.
But good fight and up. Good. Yep.
Yeah.
The down and up looked good though. So
yeah, I think only other thing is just work on that depth. You're a little high, so
which could be the sciatica and hip issues, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, which again, my squats were high. I did them today. Yeah. They were high. Like I am aware that mobility is really challenging, and again, just here to point out, like competition wise, top of the hip crease below the top of the knees.
Yep.
What I've learned.
So Heidi, Megan dropped this tip for you here in the chat. The cue to wrap the bar around you helped me a ton to get my upper back tight. Yeah, so that idea of
awesome. That's a really good cue
there, so you can see that bar should feel like you're bringing it here, right? Like you're trying to bend it around your upper back. That way, all of this stays nice and tight. So those hands are tight, the upper back is tight, and you're like sandwiching that bar from your hands into your back together, right? So here, kind of thing. So,
yeah, it's good too.
Yep. So Chip, 3 works too. So 3 steps, either 2 or 3 works. It just depends on how you step back. So I tend to try and go for 2, but 3 works as well. So basically, the least amount you can do and still get it where you want it is the better. So, yeah. All right, let's take a look at the bench. Got the dog there. Looked pretty locked in from the lower body, it looked like.
Yeah,
Once you
lower
get the
body's
feet
nice,
set,
nice and
you
engaged.
get
Look
a
at
little
that.
bit of arch and
Well,
some brace. All I would say is slow it down.
yeah, I think this is a good demonstration of what can happen when you don't pause, because that momentum is causing this on the way down, and then
Yep.
there's some uncertainty coming up, as
Yep.
opposed to pausing, and then you can get your drive.
Yep. So Heidi, what we want is when we, again, similar to squat, right there, basically.
1,000.
Yep. Hold that. Make sure, because you just unracked the bar and you brought it this way. You don't want it to continue to go that way. So you're going to hold it and then go down. Down. Yep. I mean,
It's a great.
Yeah. Otherwise, go
What
lift.
she PR'd her squat and deadlift, right?
Yep.
I mean, yeah, it's still a great fight.
Yep.
Awesome job.
Okay. And here comes the dad. Clean. Only thing, I only saw one thing. You got anything?
Let's watch again. Try, I think, a little more full extension at the top.
Yep. Yep. So we'd call that like a weak or soft lockout, right? So, and again, could be a hip issue, but so right there, we probably need another 2 inches ish, maybe inch or so of that bar coming up. We're just a little shy of fully pushing those hips through and locking out. Yeah. So you should basically stand straight up with that bar is kind of what it should look like at the end.
You don't want to do this.
Yep.
But we don't want to be bent over. We want to be locked right. Yep. Straight up and down.
Otherwise, that deadlift looked fantastic. So
yeah, PR is a PR. Really locked in. Took the slack out of the bar real nicely.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nicely done, Heidi.
Great job.
If you have any other questions, feel free to drop them in the chat, and we'll answer for you, and other people will chime in as well. But those are 3 great lifts, and especially coming off of injury. Well done.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up, we got Iron Clinic. So he also has a YouTube channel. I'll find it here for us while we're watching him. But he live streamed this, I think, on his TikTok. Had like a whole bunch of people watching him, which he said gave him the extra boost. He managed to PR all 3 lifts.
Yeah, buddy.
430 squat, 380 bench, 535 deadlift for 1345 total. Cool. He said he went 3 for 3, so I'm assuming he just loaded up the 3 lifts and went for it, as opposed to maybe making it like a mock meet and 9 for 9 kind of thing.
Yeah.
He says he'd get the gorilla to do their own TikTok trend. So that might work. So then he'd win. So let's see. Here's his channel for anyone checking it out. I'm dropping that in the chat, and let's watch his lift. Hyped up.
Oh.
All right. I'm gonna take first stab, all right?
Yeah, you do it.
Okay, so one again, I feel like a broken record this week. But I know, I'm pretty sure I gave the same thing to Chip last year, was slow down, right? It's the holy crap, this weight is so heavy, it's on my back. I need to finish this lift real quick so that way it's not heavy anymore on my back. and we gotta embrace the suck a little bit. So when we get that bar out of that rack, we go whoop, and we're already moving. We're already unstable walking that bar backwards, which is not a great place to start. So go up and then out, as opposed to up and out all at one time. I would probably say you get some air. I'm not a fan of the talking and hype up piece beforehand, just because I feel like talking distracts from the breathing, which is what we should be doing. But if it gives him that extra mental boost, I'm not going to tell him not to get hyped by any means. I would probably say here is not a good idea. So we can see that bar goes up and down a bit on his back, moves a bit while he's psyching himself up and breathing. Not ideal. See how you can see, right? It's doing this thing. It's doing one of these and he's going. So we want to hold that, but everything else was monster. That was deep. That was up. Everything looked fantastic. So
I would say the only thing is get used to having heavy weight on your back. Like on my squat days, I will, when I'm done with all my lifts, or when I'm done with my main back squat, I'll add over my 1 rep max, just to get used to getting underneath it. And what does it feel? And I might do 1/16 squats, like little hip hinges, just to, number one, prep my body. Number two, mentally, if I know, my max is 400, well, I know what 435 feels like. That can really, and then if you start getting comfortable, you can start taking your walkout with it. The more comfortable you get walking out something over your max, when you get to that strength, you can hit those numbers.
When I was building my squat up for quite a while, what I would do in my off-season sections was add chains and stuff, and purposefully. So at the top, you got an extra 120 pounds in chains. You might only be squatting 400, but now that's 520, right? It's not 520 in the hole, but at the top, you feel that, right? And you, like you're saying, you go, holy crap, this is heavy. And then all of a sudden you take those chains off and you go, whew, this is easy, right? I got this. So, so it's the same reason why some of those guys use bands and all kinds of stuff. You start to build that unracking craziness. So that's all I got for you on the squat, man, is slow it down a little bit. Otherwise, great lift.
That was awesome.
That's everything. Absolutely everything. Come on, BJ. Come on, 380. Easy. Come on. Yep. Yes.
380 bench, and I don't think he got fully set, but nothing moved. That was there's a reason why his upper body looks like a brick shit house. So
the only thing I see is just, again, pause after you unrack that just a little bit longer.
So my guess, and it's hard to tell, the setup didn't take him very long to get tensed. I'm not seeing a lot in those legs. Again, I'm not seeing movement. I'm not seeing the hips come up. But otherwise, that's a monster lift. So he should be excited about that one.
It looks like he's got some leg engagement. Just when he starts driving, they're like,
Leo. Leo says you need at least 16 pieces of flare. Good office
working
space,
on it.
Office space reference. So slow it down. See if you can get a little tension in those legs, pushed back into upper back. Otherwise, Yeah. Otherwise, dude, that's monster. So
Yeah, it was smooth, locked in, loved it.
yeah.
It was a great look.
I didn't have the camera recording.
Heidi says she needs to up her
Well,
flare
thank goodness
game
TikTok
then.
records all
So,
this stuff. Holy cow!
yeah, I mean, he should be stoked. So that was a good one. So that's what that was. Low back didn't look too bad. I think he lost a little bit of upper back tightness, but that's also what do we have on here? 535. Yeah, 535 deadlift. So it's probably understandable. The drop is intense.
Yeah.
So again, I'm not a fan of the talking and yelling kind of thing right before you brace and lift. I don't see any issues translating into his back or anything like that. That would tell me that he has a loss of brace. He definitely grounded that one out because those legs wanted to do all the work there, which is good. So that's how we
bring it back down.
Yeah.
That's how. Don't CrossFit it. Come on down.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, he I mean, massive lift, 3 PRs across the board. Nicely done, sir.
Yeah. I think it looked great, especially for the fight and the grind.
Yeah.
We can nitpick, but you can tell that was almost like an RPG of 10.
Yeah, the leg shimmy towards the top is always where are we at? We're right here.
Yeah.
Right? When those legs are going like this on a deadlift, that's the end game for you. You got to just hold on tight and hope it works. So.
That might be one of the prettiest GGC faces right there.
Yeah. He might. Nicely done, sir. So,
yeah, awesome job.
Yep. Heidi, I dropped a link in the chat for you if you're looking for some wall flare. That's the official GGC flag. So
yeah, I think I finally got mine a couple of years ago.
Yeah, there you go. You're official.
Official.
Let's see who we're gonna add next. So BJ, nicely done, sir. So you want to do? It's 5:06. You want to do one more?
Yeah, let's do one more.
Okay, let's do one more. So I got Andrew. No, who am I going to do last? Is that right? Yeah, Andrew, Kid Charlotte.
Andrew.
So he goes by Kid Charlemagne on Instagram. He said his nickname is Buzz. We can see that he is well versed in the home gym community because he's got the Gluck flag behind him. He's got the Massonomics shirt on. He's got the Massonomics flag on the side there, the lift one. He's got lift shorts on as well. He's got some fancy Avanco plates. Nicely done, sir. So he's got the dialed motion cable retractor over there. All kinds of good stuff. All right, let's take a look. Squat. What did he say? He said he PR'd all 3 lifts. So 255 squat, 215 bench, 365 dead for an 835 total. He's only been lifting for a couple years. So he says 1 to 2 years. He says as long as he had spears and shields and was able to form a phalanx, P-H-A, phalanx.
Yeah, phalanx.
I don't know what that word is.
Have you ever seen the 300?
Yeah.
You know that it's like that dome thing they make at the end.
Oh, got it. Okay. Yeah.
They make like a shield wall.
Okay. Basically. So he's going to take all 100 of him and form that to fight the gorilla. So
yeah, that would
call, dude.
I don't know if it would,
but he's got a strategy. So
that is true.
That's better than everyone else just going, I'd win or I'd lose. So
yeah.
All right, Andrew, let's take a look and see. squat. He's using a safety squat bar. I'm going to be real picky here right out the gate. You need to get a new safety squat bar. So the one that I'm pretty sure you have on your back is, so you see how the handles are in line with the camber of the bar itself. Typically, that's not ideal. Typically, that's going to give you some neck problems and different things. I would recommend one like from Elite Fitness or Bells of Steel or a handful of other ones. Those handles should come out here, and then the camber should basically come straight down parallel with your body, more or less. And the only reason I'm picking on your equipment is because you got so much other nice stuff. So if you didn't have a gym full of nice, pretty things, then I'd let you rock. But I'm gonna pick on you for that one. So okay, so here comes the safety squat bar squat. Nice and strong. That one.
Wow. Not expecting that to go so fast.
So step out was good. He only took a couple steps there. Only thing I see is we got some interesting like hip movement going on. Yeah. So right here, we're taking breath. His kind of pelvis comes forward and then back down. I don't know if he was trying to like tuck his tailbone to then go under, or if that's an unconscious movement. But anything moving like from here down is a no-go until we start actually squatting. So
that was that descent is so fast.
Yeah. Boom. Yep. And up. Yeah. You got anything else? That's the only thing I had for him. I guess the only other one would be load up more weight because you crushed him.
Man. If you're moving that quick,
255 for PR. I wonder if he tried another weight or he just went, fuck yeah, that was it. And I'm moving on.
But that was so fast.
Yeah.
No, that's great.
Dude, he's got the Mars bar right above him and he used the other one. That's crazy. Okay. We gotta chat about your equipment choices, my friend. So, all right, let's see. Bench. All right, we go pretty quick there. Let's go back. So on rack and down, quick and up. Okay.
Yeah, that's
pretty
good.
So we're gonna do the same thing. Slow it down a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So let's go back. So we're gonna unrack and basically instantly go down. Take that second, let it sit in the hand, and then come down as opposed to rushing through. And it's hard to tell because we don't see the lower body, what's going on there. I don't see a lot of movement for the little bit we can see.
Yeah.
So,
unless he's tap dancing.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks pretty locked in right there.
Yeah, elbows look good. Yeah. He doesn't have any crazy compensation. He's not doing the chicken dance with his arms or anything like that. Everything looks pretty tight.
Yeah,
so slow it down and then add more weight again, dude. So and then we're going into number 3. That bar. Dude, we got to add some more weight. Crushed it.
That was so fast again.
All right, so let's go back a little bit. So he kind of does the same thing there a little bit like he did in the squat. Like when he's getting the air, he's kind of throwing his hips forward a little bit. Again, I'm not entirely positive what that is. You can see right there, right? He does this kind of like hip thrust almost kind of thing going. Then he comes down. He gets set, but then he loses it all. And he takes another big breath. And then we can see his face is blown out. So I'm pretty sure, obviously hard to tell from the side. I think he did what we've seen some other people do. He gets tight, then he gets down to the bar, he lets go, then he tries to get tight again, but he's in a bad, because like personally, I don't know about you, I can't get my air down at the bar when I deadlift. I got to get it up top. So I know some people can go down to the bar all nice and comfortable and then get their air. It doesn't work for me. I think he tries to get his air, but since he's compressed, it doesn't go in his belly. So he's doing that, right? Because you can see his cheeks.
Yeah.
And so normally that's not the sign we want. So like your face should be red, but you shouldn't typically be chipmunk face going on.
Yeah. Less and more.
Yeah. So I would say, if possible, the other ones we've told you to slow down. I'm going to say maybe speed up a little bit on that one, right? So get your air, get set kind of thing up top, and then get down to the bar, get tight, and come up with it. Yeah. So as opposed to get your air, get tight, get down, let it go, reset, get tight again, and then come up. So
yeah.
But the position looks great. I mean, he sat back nice. A lot of people with a trap bar I see they end up either way too this way or way too this way, right? They either try and squat that weight up, which is not what we want, or they end up just going straight leg because the handles are so high. They end up doing a RDL. I don't see that here. That's a great position. So he's using his hips and pushing through. I would probably hold the lockout for an extra second.
Maybe just a little more upright at the top.
Say that one more time.
A little more upright at the top.
Yeah. And I think he just didn't finish, right? That's like
just
a little bit. Yep. One more second of locking those hips through and standing up tall, and then you'd be money.
Yeah.
But again, dude, 365 for PR there. Awesome so job. He's got 835 total. I think he does a couple of things we just said. He slaps some more weight on, and at the fall, he's in the 999 club. So
for sure. I mean, especially with how fast that squat went so fast.
Dominated.
Deadlift, if he takes out the extra time down there, just take that breath, come down.
Yep.
You know, you're up there right away. You're up there pretty easily. So.
Yep. All right.
Nice job.
I got two more on my list. It's 5:15. What's your schedule look like?
I can do one more. I got one more.
Okay. Let's do one more.
Because it's 7:15 my time.
Yeah, I know.
I'm Middle Tennessee.
I know. That's better than the East Coast dudes that I've had on where they're like, it is late. And I'm like, I know it is. I'm sorry. So, because then the other route, hold on 1 second. The other route is if I do it at 4:00 your time, it's 1:00 my time.
Everyone's clicking in at work.
All right. So our last one that we're going to cover today is Brendan. So Brendan has a 1,005-pound total.
Hell yeah.
Sure. He said he PR'd his squat. So we got 335, 295, and 375.
Okay.
Let's see. He's been lifting in some form for the past 25 years. In high school, he weighed over 300 pounds. Since then, strength and fitness has become essential pillars in his life. He had a double hip replacement in 2023. He broke one of his prosthetics last June. All kinds of fun stuff. Balancing full-time job, raising 2 daughters, running his own business, coaching fitness and yoga. All kinds of fun things.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, but he says this year I finally broke the 1,000-pound total. So we call it the 999-pound club here at the GGC. So it's
Yeah.
a little bit of a historical inside joke. He says that brains beat brawn, and using the environment enables a win. I only need one to survive. So there you go. You can sacrifice 99 out of your 100 and make it out alive. You're still there. So,
Yep.
all right, let's take a look at his squat. So right out the gate, I would say we're facing the wrong way.
Oh yeah.
The two pieces I would say there. One is the re-rack is terrifying. I don't know how anyone re-racks behind them with a heavy bar on their back and doesn't feel like they're going to die the whole time. But two is like no one does that in a competition. And if it was better, people would do it in a competition, and they don't. So, so face the other way and walk your squat out backwards as opposed to forwards. Now, I will say that if that's not okay on your hips or something like that, then obviously ignore what I just said. But
we might have just lost Joe Gray. But touching on what he was saying, I would always make sure you are walking backwards for safety reasons. Oh, there he is.
Yeah. Browser crapped out on me. Here we go. Okay. Yep. So walk the other way. That's first up. Okay. We take a couple extra steps. We're bouncing around a bit. But upper back looks pretty good. Depth looks good.
Grinding.
Not too shabby.
Oh my god.
Yeah, see there. I mean, he hit that J cup. So
yeah.
Okay, so other than facing the wrong way, what do we got for him?
That second step was so big.
Yeah. So I mean, that's got to be 3-4 feet. He clears out that way.
I would say that's 5.
Yeah. So I mean, like one of the things I told people is I go, my rack is like 24 inches deep or something like that. So I go, like, mine's here, right? That's it, right? That's all you need, right? Anything else is a waste of space. So you gotta, So if we face the other way, now obviously there might be some limitations with the wall and stuff. You might have to take a little bit further step just to make sure you're clear and stuff. But yeah, we need a little bit less of a walkout.
All right. So yeah,
just a little bit of a something there at the top, but
yeah, you have a little bit of this going on at the bottom. Again, it's a PR for him. So I think just making sure you're driving that up to the top.
So the one thing I notice is so when we're walking out, so see where his elbows are right now?
Yeah.
And then he gets set here, right? So you need to be there before we unrack the bar. So as much as you can get that tightness before that bar ends up on your back, the better off you're going to be. That's it's what like the Coke can example, right? If the Coke can's already crushed a little bit and then you put something on top of it, it's going to fall apart. Whereas if it's fully intact, especially if it's full of soda and hasn't been open kind of thing, you can put like 30 pounds or whatever on top of it and it'll hold it kind of deal. So the more that we can be upright, rigid, strong, etc., before that bar gets on our back, the better. So get that tightness first. And then in theory, we wouldn't lose it here. So so keep that upper back coming into that bar that whole time, right? We kind of lose sight of his chest. So keep that chest up and moving up. So legs good, look good though. Pretty strong finish. My guess is that little hiccup at the end there is the hips. So
I think that little cave into something that helped me was doing banded goblet squats.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a decently heavy band, your body wants that band is pulling you forward, so you have to engage the lats in the back a lot more. I remember when I was learning to do them, I was doing 4 sets of 10, and I went, "This is easy." And I woke up the next morning, and I thought I had done a back workout. I was so sore from that, but it really definitely helped that cave in, where I felt more comfortable driving straight up.
So if you want to get really sadistic, you do banded front squats. So like actual bar front squats with bands. And because the bar wants to roll on you anyway, right? So front squat, you got to really keep it up. And then that band is actively pulling you. And so that's one of the best upper back exercises potentially on the planet. So
all right. Let's try that out.
Let's take a look at his bench. So, okay. We're getting set. On rack. Strong finish. Nice. Okay.
Yeah, spotter. That's nice.
Yeah. Okay, what do you got for him? So he goes to get set.
He's nice and set. Again, there's that movement after the bar's off the J cups.
So he's right there, right? So he's set, and then he goes like this, and then he moves again.
Yeah.
And you can see his leg was shaking a little bit as well. So he goes right here, boom, legs move, hips move, everything moves, which tells me, So when you really lock that in, that tension, literally nothing moves beside your arm.
Yeah.
It's just boom and done. And so, he started off like it looked like he was good, and then he unracked it and lost it for whatever reason. I don't know if he didn't have those lats tight or the core or whatever, but we need a little bit more tension from those legs up into the bar fully. But he stuck with it.
Yeah. I think when he fires out of the hole, his elbows shoot.
Yeah.
And so that causes him to have to correct on the way up, as opposed to just driving.
Yep. So his elbow is right there, right? So it's about here.
Yeah.
And then as it comes up, it comes back out. Yeah. And it's basically in line with that bar.
But
good lift though.
So we're being nitpicky, but I mean that's amazing.
Okay. And here comes the dead. That looked good.
Oh man, that's solid.
Okay. So shins look pretty upright. His hips are in a good spot. He's not trying to squat that weight or anything like that. I don't see his hips start super low and then come up. Maybe
he kind of does. He does that little. He does that little setback, but I don't know if that's him just getting prepped.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to tell if he's actually trying to drive, because again, once he hits that perfect spot right there, that's when the bar comes.
It's a small little bit. He could maybe have his hips just a little bit higher to start. Yeah. So right there is where he kind of tries to pull, and then that's where he pulls. So those hips move like an inch or two or something like that.
A couple of inches, save yourself some energy. But I mean, that was, look at how locked in that upper back is. Man.
That's fantastic.
Man, that's a great lift.
Yep. Only other thing I'd say is take those knee sleeves off. So again, they're gonna come if they come up that shin, and especially in that position, if they hit that little bit, they're gonna hit that lip, and then they're gonna get stuck. And then you're also gonna tear your knee sleeves, which is no fun either. So
your skin regrows. Trust me. The first time I upgraded to a Texas Power Bar. And they have ultra aggressive knurling.
Yeah.
My standard bar is like smooth as a baby's bottom.
Yeah.
And so, man, the first time I clipped my shin, it looked like a cat had just clawed my front.
Yeah.
I came in from the milk bar, and my wife goes, "What did you do?"
Yeah.
New
Yeah.
bar.
Yeah. I have a few friends who have come over and they've used a couple of bars, and then I go, all right, feel this one. And it's my Texas deadlift bar. And then they go, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good choice.
Like, that's why my hands look like they've been in a meat grinder every day.
Uh-huh. Yeah. All right, man. That's a good
Awesome
lift.
job.
Finish
Yeah,
it
that was a
off
great
from
job.
Brendan. Nicely done,
Yeah,
sir.
nice work.
Very small little pieces to the puzzle there.
Yeah.
Christian, you got anything you want to plug? You want people to follow you somewhere or anything like that?
If you want to follow me on Instagram, Mr. Adorable, it's Mr._adorable. Give me a follow. If you have questions or anything, you can always reach out. Short of giving you a program, I'm always willing to give feedback and help out. There's still guys that I coached and like gave feedback from a few GGCs ago where I still follow them. I still see their lifts. So yeah, give me a follow, shout out, whatever you need. If I made a mistake, call me out, let me know. I always want to learn. I don't know if I don't know what I don't know unless someone tells me. And I like the cues that were given here. I'll definitely take those and use them for my clients as well. So
cool. Yep. I dropped your Instagram in the chat there for everybody. Everyone in the
Appreciate it.
chat, Heidi, Chip, Leo, who
Yeah.
else was here? Where's one of Megan? Thank you for chiming in, adding in some pieces to the puzzle.
Yeah.
Anyone who might be listening or watching, remember that you can submit your lifts for the Spring GGC through the end of Sunday. Participating enters you in for free, mind you, totally free for free coaching feedback. So you get feedback from people like Christian and top powerlifters and coaches and all kinds of different people. Chad Wesley Smith chimes in as well, which is pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. We've got $17,000 in prizes available just in the spring alone. So that'll be the same list for the fall. We've got donations to Special Olympics on your behalf. So everyone who participates, I donate $1 for you. Man, I said this last night. I've yet to find a good reason why you shouldn't participate. I'm probably a little biased, but yeah. So open through Sunday. Hopefully you check it out. Rules are pretty simple. You can find it all on the website there. Any last words, my dude?
Let's go. Let's do it.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a good rest of your night.
See ya.